Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a bit of a sit down video and I'm actually going to be talking to you all about A-levels and college and year 12 and year 13. I thought this video would be quite like a helpful little video for anyone who's starting college or sixth form and starting their A-levels and just wanted some advice or some questions cleared up from another person's experience. When I first went into college, I literally watched so many of these videos and all I watched was like prepare with me for college and stuff, trying to get my head around the idea of the whole college thing and trying to understand what it was like before I went there. So I thought that I could film this video and help you guys have more of an understanding of what it's like and some advice and just some tips and tricks and everything. Okay, so the first question is, what is the work like? Do you have books you write in or do you work on laptops? So obviously in secondary school you were given a notebook for each topic and each subject that you had. However, it's completely different in college. You basically bring your own notebooks and obviously you only have 3 subjects, or in my case you have 2 subjects because I basically done one A-level subject and 1 BTEC subject, but my BTEC was equivalent to 2 A-levels, so it was a very much bigger load of work and course work and stuff. So yeah, obviously you in secondary school you would have your designated books for your designated subjects. However, in college, as I said, you bring your own notebooks and you bring your own laptops and iPads and whatever. So I started off in college with my iPad. I would write up all my notes on there. And I had like different folder things on my iPad for all my notes and stuff. Although that didn't really last long and then I stopped taking notes because I kind of couldn't be bothered. And then if I took notes, then I would just have like a random piece of paper just in my bag, like scruffed up at the bottom, which I would just write notes on. Don't take my advice, don't do that, just actually be organised. So obviously with your work it completely depends on the subjects. My 2 subjects were media studies and business, so all of my work was done on computers. So we would be set all of our work on the computers and online, and then we'd just have stuff on there to fill out and complete. I'm not sure what it's like in other subjects. I feel like if you've done like biology or something it may be a bit different and you may do more written work or work in notebooks. However, in my case I basically only ever used a computer really. Basically your college will supply you with anything like that you need, like booklets or your work online. However, if you're just taking notes then that's all completely down to you, and you can use your own personal preference on what you want to use. So whether you want to use a notebook or you want to use an iPad or you want to use a laptop. I personally think a laptop is so much easier than taking notes on paper because it's so much quicker and you don't lose the paper. Like you've got it in one place, you can just store it and then you can go back to it. So yeah, I wouldn't stress it too much. I think it's all personal opinion and personal preference, and then also a bit of guidance on what your teachers want you to do. So if your work is all online then you may as well just make the notes online as well. Next question is, how different are A-levels from your GCSEs? And they are very different. GCSEs now feel like nothing. Like it literally felt like the most simple thing ever, and I don't know why I stressed it as much as I did and thought like it was so difficult, because this is 100 times more difficult. You're not even prepared for actually how much content you have to do. It's ridiculous. All the subjects are so hugely content based, like you have such a massive load of content you've got to learn, whereas in your GCSEs obviously you had like 7 subjects that you had to learn, but because you had so many it was very little content that you actually needed to know. However, with the whole actual aspect of college, it's actually so much better than secondary school, because in secondary the teachers treat you like children. Like they treat you like you're a child and you have no independence and anything like that. Like you're just treated like a child, whereas as soon as you go to college you see the difference completely. You call your teachers by their first names. The teachers give you so much freedom and independence. Like literally sometimes we would be told like we don't have to come to lesson because we're trusted to work from home by ourselves if we wanted to, or we were allowed to like leave the lessons early because we'd done all the work. Like you didn't have to stay around if you had nothing to do, or you had very little to do, that you could just do it from home, which happened to me quite often in second year. I ended up not having to go to very many business lessons because I was literally just able to do it from home, and I managed to finish the course so much earlier than was actually expected, which was good. However, that does then mean that they don't care as much about making you do stuff. Like, they don't care as much about making you do the work or giving you set deadlines that you have to like complete a essay or your bit of homework by or something. Like, if you don't do it, then they just kind of are just like, I don't really care. Obviously they will push you, but they won't push you as much as you'd get pushed in secondary. Like, if you didn't do homework, you'd be given a detention. Like, now it's just like, if you don't do homework, well, that's on you. Like, it's your problem. If you don't want to put the effort in, you don't have to put the effort in, but you won't get anywhere, basically. So they will not push you as much as you will be pushed in secondary, and it's all down to you. You have to have the motivation, the productivity. You have to want to do the work yourself and actually get on with it, because if you don't, then you won't get pushed, so you won't do it at all, and then it would just be one massive disaster, basically. How do you stay motivated when revising? This one is one I probably can't answer too much on, because I had like no motivation when I was revising. I don't know how I ended up even revising at all, because I just had so much lack of motivation. I just don't know how I done it. I just have never really been able to get the motivation that some people can get for revising. Like, a lot of people can literally just be motivated 24/7. I am not like that. Like, it takes me hours and hours just to get to my desk and do a bit of revision, because I procrastinate so much. One thing that did really help me with motivation and productivity though is watching videos on YouTube and TikTok. I literally would, if I just had no motivation, I would just search up study with me's or day in the life of a year 13 or revise with me and stuff, literally on YouTube and TikTok, and I would just sit through for like an hour just watching these videos, building up the motivation to actually do it. And probably like 97% of the time it would actually force me to do the revision, because I was seeing all these other people doing like so much, and I was like, right, like I need to do that as well. Like, it just motivated me. Do really recommend, even if you're not a YouTuber or a vlogger or a TikToker or an Instagrammer, get your phone and film you doing it. Like, just make your own little vlog. It doesn't have to go anywhere, you can literally delete it after the day, but like, film your own little vlog of you doing your revision and studying and stuff, because it actually really helps. Like, every time I was feeling unmotivated, I would pick up my camera and I would film a video, and literally none of those videos ended up going anywhere, and I literally deleted them straight after. But it actually forced me to do work. I don't know how it works, I don't know why it works, but I do really recommend that as well. Next question is, how do I stay on top of content and not fall behind? This one is a very important one, and please take my advice when I tell you this stuff, because this is one thing that I really wish I knew when I started. One tip that I have is to make notes. Literally make notes whenever you can at anything you think is relevant or important and could help you in your exams eventually. And then, using those notes, ensure that after every single topic you've covered, that you then condense all your notes down into like one mind map or a couple of flashcards or something for that particular topic. That way it will save you so much time when it comes to your exams. And please just trust me on that, because I spent about 1 month before my first exam making all my flashcards. I literally had like 4 sets of flashcards out of about 25 topics that I had to know, and I had to spend weeks just making the flashcards before I could even start the revision, because I hadn't made notes, I hadn't condensed it down, and it just made it 10 times more stressful. Like, it didn't need to be stressful. So after every single topic you've done, just make the flashcards, make the mind maps, like make the revision materials that you're going to be able to use eventually without having to then spend all your time doing that, because it's such a waste of time. Another tip is to do any of your work that is set as soon as possible. As soon as you get it, literally just find a time that you can do it and just sit down and do it, because it will help you so much. You will make your life so much more simpler, because you're not spending coming home from school then doing all your stuff that you want to do, and then a couple of days before the deadline's due and you've got a 20-page exam essay you've got to write, and you've got like 24 hours until it's due. You're not going to get it done in time unless you're literally up all night writing it. So just do it ASAP. The next question is, when do I start revising? So I started in the Easter half term, but I do wish I started a little bit before that. I had mocks the week after Easter half term, so I literally had to do all my revision in these 2 weeks, and I had to do all of my revision in these 2 weeks just for these mocks. Ended up literally not even doing like half of the revision I needed to do, and I just done like random stuff, and it ended up these mocks, actually the grades came back awful, and this was what, 2 or 3 weeks before my actual exam. Like I should have started way before. But depending on when you want to start revision, I think it's completely based on the subject you're doing, as well as you in general. Like it's completely your choice on when you start revising for it, and when you feel you're ready to start the revision and you've learned all the content in the lessons. A lot of people, they do revise at different times and they learn things at different rates, like time rates. Like someone could learn a full bulk load of content in 2 weeks, but another person, it could take them like 4 months to learn it. Like it's completely based on the way that you revise and how quickly you learn things. The next question is how to spend your free periods, and as I said, this was one thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about, because it's very different in the 2 years that you're there. So in first year, it's literally every single person spent them so unwisely. Like nobody actually spent them in a productive way. Every single person, obviously you just made your new friends, like you're meeting loads of new people, so I can completely understand why we done it. But in the first year, we literally spent all our free periods like going to town. We were like a 5-minute walk away from town, so we were always in town or going for food, or literally we would get the train to a whole different bloody place, 20-minute train away, just to like go and do something. Yeah, we obviously didn't spend them very productively at all, which then meant that we literally got nothing done, and it meant that we'd come home from college and then we'd have a bulk load of work that we had to do and catch up on, because we hadn't used our free periods like we were told to. That then meant you missed deadlines, ended up falling behind, but at the same time, like it's kind of good to have spent your free periods like that. Even if like you go and do like 2 actual study periods and you actually study or do your work, and then you spent your next 7 just doing nothing, like going out with your friends. Like it really doesn't actually matter that much in first year, and you're finding like a balance in between it. I think that's just the best thing to do. Whereas in second year, everyone kind of suddenly just cracked down. Like it was like we came back from summer and like everyone had like a whole different like mindset, and people were like actually going to workshops, like study periods, like people actually in the library doing work. Like it was completely different to first year. I think everyone kind of understood that it's actually not that far until A levels and exams, and it actually meant that we had to crack down and we actually had to do work, because there was a lot of it to learn. Literally every single free period I had, or study period, I was in the library during revision, catching up on work. My workload seemed to like go skyrocketed up in year 13 compared to year 12. I don't know if that was just my subjects. There was so much more content, which meant that I literally had to spend all my free periods doing this work, and this content like got bigger and bigger every single time. But I did notice a huge difference in how fast I got things done and how much more time I had at home, like to do whatever I wanted, because I'd done all the work in my free periods. I literally got home and had nothing left to do. The final question is, what is your honest opinions on college or sixth form? Like, did you actually enjoy it or did you not? So completely honest, I absolutely hated it. College was probably like one of the worst worst things ever. I think I would have rather been in secondary for another 5 years, and I hated secondary as well. I think, to be fair, I just wish I was still in primary school. Like, that was easy. I really didn't enjoy it. I feel like it just wasn't my kind of vibe. It just wasn't my kind of place. It's completely different for everyone though. Like, I know most people actually really enjoyed college. Like, most of my mates literally said, like, I really like college, like, I don't want to leave. And I'm just there, like, I was thinking, just get me out of here. Like, every single day I went to college, I was like, I don't want to go. I found out that if I started doing all my work before like the deadlines, like, I didn't have to come to lessons. I was like literally doing it like as soon as I got it. That is how much I hated college, that I actually put in so much effort just so I could finish early. But I did tell myself the whole way through that it's literally 2 years of your life and it will be worth it in the end, because you'll get the grades you want and then you'll be able to go into something that you actually really want to do. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was somewhat helpful. I'm not sure if it was, but I do hope it was, and I wish you all the best of luck if you are going to college or sixth form or wherever you're next going. If you're watching this and you're in like year 10 going into year 11 but you're thinking about colleges, like, I wish you luck in your GCSEs and then in your A-level endeavours. Don't be scared of it. College is actually secretly is fine. It's just whether you actually enjoy it or not. But remember, it's literally 2 years of your life and you'll be completely fine. I do hope it did help somewhat and it gave you more, put your mind at ease a little bit more about college. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.